Almighty God and Father, as we gather today for our work in Congress, we offer our prayers for our brothers and sisters who were severely affected by the typhoons. We also lift up to you our prayers for our fellow men who grieve and face uncertainty as we continue to survive this pandemic. We beseech you to bestow your mantle of protection upon your people, that we may be strengthened and united with your Holy Spirit. This we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay. The chair would like to hear a motion to dispense with the calling of the roll.
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense with the calling of the roll. So move, Mr. Chair.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
There is a move to dispense with the calling of the roll, duly seconded. The motion is carried. The chair also likewise would like to hear a motion to dispense with the reading of the previous minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting and to approve the same.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Second, Mr. Chair.
There was a motion to dispense with the reading of the previous minutes and was duly seconded. The same I shall hereby approve. The committee secretary is directed to acknowledge the members present and together with the resource persons present.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. The following members are present today. Honorable Representatives Frederick Shaw, Edgar Mary Sarmiento, Joy Myra S. Tambuntin, Cesar Jawo Jimenez, Manuel D.G. Cabochan III, Sarah Jane Alago, Congressman Michael Aglipay, Resurrection M. Acob, and Congressman Edgar Chato.
Thank you.
That's all, Your Honor. For the resource persons, Your Honor, we have with us from the Philippine National Police, we have Police Brigadier General Danilo P. Masirin, Police Brigadier General Flynn Dongbo, and from the Police Security Protection Group, Police Colonel Jerry F. Biris, and also Police Lieutenant Colonel Donna Villarreal of the DPRM. Your Honor, Representative Rudy Cesar Fariñas the first has just entered, and Representative Ruth Mariano Hernandez.
Okay.
If I may continue, from the Internal Affairs Service, we have Inspector General Attorney Alfegar Triangulo. From the Civil Service Commission, Office of Legal Affairs, Attorney Ruth Eunice Mina, and Mr. Cesar Garduque. From the Government Service Insurance System, we have Attorney Giovanni Lin Quicoy Marin. We'd also like to recognize, sir, that the representative from the DBM, Ms. Christine Bautista. Also from the GSIS, Mr. Oliver Ocampo Flores and Mr. Geoffrey Jonathan B. Reyes. Sir, Representative Adrian Ebcas just arrived. From the House of Representatives, we have Director Belinda Bello of the Legislative Security Bureau. From the National Police Commission, we have Attorney Nathaniel De La Rosa. And that's all for now, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Flor. Thank you, our beautiful secretary. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues and resource persons. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the meeting of the Committee on Public Order and Safety. Foremost on our agenda for today is the consideration of House Bills numbered 2247, 3065, and 7734. Authored by Representatives Manuel D.G. Cabochan III, Jericho Jonas Nograles, and Congressman Angelo Marcos Barba, respectively, seeking to strengthen the Internal Affairs Service, or IAS, of the Philippine National Police. The IAS was created under Republic Act number 8551, or the PNP Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998, to be the organization that polices the police and instills discipline within the ranks. It may be recalled that the committee already conducted its initial deliberation on the first two bills and created a technical working group to harmonize their provisions. This representation was then designated as temporary chair of the technical working group, pending the submission of position papers by the resource persons. However, in view of the third bill that was recently referred to this committee, and in order to save time, let us take this opportunity to discuss the merits of all three measures and review the pressing concerns of the IAS. The second item on our agenda is the initial deliberation of House Bill number 3527, seeking to establish the Philippine Legislative Police, authored by Deputy Majority Leader Ria Christina Fariñas and Representatives Rudy Cesar G. Fariñas I, and House Bill number 4914, seeking to create the Congressional Police Force, authored by Deputy Speaker Vilma Santos-Recto. In the United States, a similar agency tasked to protect members of Congress has been in existence since 1828. In the United States Capitol Police, or the USCP, is responsible for protecting Congress and policing the grounds of the U.S. Capitol and the Library of Congress. In the 17th Congress, a technical working group held several meetings to craft a substitute measure to House Bill number 6208, which was authored by former Majority Leader Rodolfo C. Fariñas. However, the bill was unable to reach the advanced stages of the legislative process. Before we start our deliberation, I would like to thank all of you for attending our virtual meeting, and I look forward to a productive discussion with you this afternoon. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po. So, we would like to, is Congressman Angelo Barba is present. Comsec?
Sir.
Yes?
Sir, he has not entered the meeting room, sir.
Okay. I think because we have now three bills referred to this committee involving one subject matter, we need to consolidate these three bills and to come up with a substitute bill which will embody almost everything, no? But before going to that, I would like to acknowledge and recognize the representatives of the following agencies. From DILG, is USEC Rico Judge Echeverry. It's the one representing the DILG.
Sir, wala pa po siya, sir. He's
Wala
not yet
pa.
here, sir.
Who is representing or who is representing the DILG?
Sir, wala pa pong representative from the DILG.
But did we invite them for this meeting?
Yes, sir, and USEC Echeverry confirmed his attendance together with ASEC Manuel Felix.
O bakit daw hindi sila po pwede? Nag-assign na lang sana ng iba kung hindi po pwede. Importante rin itong meeting ito, especially their position on this matter. Because there are the bill of Congressman Coco Nograles aims to put the jurisdiction of the supervision and control of the IAS under this SILG. We need to get their comments on this so that everyone could hear their position. Okay, since nobody from the DILG is around, may we call and recognize the NAPOLCOM representative who is the representative of NAPOLCOM, COMSEC?
Sir, may we recognize Police Brigadier General Danilo Maserin, sir?
Brigadier General
Danilo Maserin.
Danilo Masirin.
Danny Maserin. Yes, sir.
From what particular office?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Police Brigadier General Danilo P. Masirin. I'm the Deputy Director for Operations of the National Headquarters, Camp Crami, sir. Your Honor.
Okay, so may we seek your position, the PNP's position regarding this particular measure? No, dun sa yes, actually yung pinaka-major issue dito, gusto nyo bang, ano ba ang position nyo regarding yung supervision and control of IAS? Do you want it to remain with the PNP or are you okay with the IAS being transferred to the NAPOLCOM?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Your Honor, our Director General of IAS, Attorney Triangulo is here. He is in a position to express his views regarding this matter.
Okay, so we may then recognize Inspector General Triangulo of the IAS. Please go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Thank you for inviting me to this hearing of your Honorable Committee on Public Order and Safety. First of all, we are grateful to the Honorable Legislators, especially to those who are authors or sponsors of the 3 bills now under deliberation in your committee, for the attention being given to the IAS. Indeed, after enduring more than 2 decades of interim status, lacking resources and immaculate powers, the reform, strengthening, and transformations of internal affairs in the Philippines policing has been long overdue. Now, we have already submit our proposal. This proposal have carefully written considering our experience over the years and observing our learning from our counterpart here and abroad. We respectfully submit the proposal for deliberation and possible sponsorship or inclusion in any measure. With regards to the specific answer to the issue whether what is the positions of the IAS, whether it remains in the PNP organizations or attached to the Department of Interior and Local Government. Our proposal, in our position, Mr. Chair, we would like to remain in the Philippine National Police, but should be given an independent, similar to the other IAS or internal affairs in the other country, the so-called embedded autonomy, that the IAS can is independent, free from control, even the chief PNP of the national, the PNP of the Philippine National Police. Para bang katulad nung sa UP, Your Honor, may yung Board of Regents meron sa ding charter, tapos yung UP College may sarili ding charter na the UP College can as independent and autonomous, no? Pwede silang makapagawa kung ano nilang gusto with regards to their mandate, no? So ganun din yung gusto namin ng IAS na kami nasa PNP pero hindi direct control ng PNP chief, no? Parang embedded autonomy na para makagalaw kami ng husto towards sa aming mandate na protektahan yung interest, integrity ng police service, i-audit at inspect yung kanilang performance, kung sila ba'y effective and efficient, at sila ba po'y official ready, especially dito sa mga problem ngayon na sa terrorism, insurgency, disasters, and other emergency, at saka po yung pag-develop ng mga programa para po sa ma-strengthen o ma-improve natin yung values, images, at saka yung integridad ng police service. That's all po, Your Honor.
Okay, so clearly, you want the IAS to be retained under the supervision and control of the PNP, or still within the PNP, but with more independence, this time, and with perhaps fiscal independence. Now, the members are free to ask questions to our resource persons. Is there anybody who would like to propound questions to our resource persons?
Mr. Chair, good afternoon and to everyone. Can I ask some clarification?
Good afternoon, Congressman Ebkas. Thank you for attending. Yes, of course. Please proceed.
May I ask if this House Bill number 2247 and House Bill number 3065 has a legislative function and a quasi-judicial function. In their proposed bill, nakalagay rito lang nakalagay special function. Tapos dito din sa isa, mayroon din function. So, yun lang ang gusto kong i-clarify.
Kung may adjudicatory function ang IAS.
Yung internal affairs service, mayroon ba silang legislative function or a quasi-judicial function? Yung quasi-judicial function parang regulated or dito lang sa mga hearing personnel sa mga PNP. But of course, hindi sila lalabas kung anong yung approved na batas natin. So, parang limit lang sila doon. Yun ang ibig kong sabihin sa quasi-judicial function. So, of course, Itong sa legislative function, I believe this is composed of a body. In fact, dito sa House Bill number 365, nakalagay rito na yung supervision under sa DILG. Tapos dito rin sa House Bill number 2247, yung supervision sa PNP. So I agree with the initial idea that we have to consolidate this bill and come up a substitute bill. So anybody can answer that yung sa quasi-judicial function at saka sa legislative function. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Is the principal authors around? Well, I've seen Congressman Cabochan.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I am here. Mr. Chair, dun po sa ating bill 2247, hindi ho natin binago yung functions ng IAS as stipulated in Republic Act number 8551. Ang gusto lang ho natin dito is palakasin. So yung query po tungkol dun sa legislative functions, wala po tayong inilagay. So, what are judicial functions, sir? Meron. The existing powers and functions of IAS as reflected in RA 8551 po, palalakasin lang po natin. And as to the, sir, as to the, kung yung IAS po will remain with the PNP, this representation po has realized the wisdom po nung proposal ni Representative Nograles that para ho hindi maging limited ang independence ng IAS, we should I think yung supervision and control will be outside PNP, could be NAPOLCOM or under SILG po. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Okay. So it's very clear, no, from our one of our principal authors that insofar as House Bill number 2247 is concerned, wala pong legislative powers yung IAS, but they have adjudicatory powers, which is quasi-judicial function. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
So, and the position of the two principal authors is that to ensure, I think yung term na independence of the IAS from the influence somehow of the PNP officials, na ilagay na lang natin sa NAPOLCOM or sa SILG as chairman, ex officio chairman of NAPOLCOM. So parang nandoon na rin siya sa NAPOLCOM. Now, is there anybody from NAPOLCOM who can make also a or say something about their position towards this matter?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Attorney De La Rosa from NAPOLCOM.
Thank you, and you are recognized. Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chair, in our recent position paper dated November 23, we supported the wisdom of the bills to strengthen the IAS. However, if the intent really of the honorable lawmakers for the IAS to be placed outside the PNP, then we propose that the ESP become part of the NAPOLCOM under the direct supervision of the SILG in his capacity as chairman of the commission. Your Honor.
Okay.
That's our official position, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
So the NAPOLCOM has no objection on the proposal to attach the IAS under the National Police Commission headed by the Secretary of the Interior and Local Government. So magkaroon tayo dito ng dalawang posisyon, no? Yung sa NAPOLCOM, okay sila na ang IAS ilagay sa NAPOLCOM, at least synchronized yung kanilang functions, and meron pa silang may duplication pa yata ng function. Some of the functions of the NAPOLCOM is already being exercised by the IAS. So pagka nagkaroon ng pag na-submerge natin yung yung IAS sa NAPOLCOM, mawawala na yung duplication na yon. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so
Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I respectfully request that the author, Congressman Angelo Marcos Barba, is already here
Good
for
afternoon.
his sponsorship.
Good afternoon, Congressman Angelo Barba.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for attending this this meeting. And in fact, ikaw talaga yung magiging bida dito ngayon. Yung dalawang the two previous bills covering the same subject matter has already been referred, no, for consolidation. And here comes the referral of your bill, and so we would like to hear your sponsorship remarks regarding your bill.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. And thank you. Thank you, and good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, my colleagues, our resource persons. The IAS, or the Internal Affairs Service of the PNP, Philippine National Police, was created by virtue of Republic Act number 8551. It was envisioned then to be an independent and autonomous unit to conduct inspections and audits on PNP personnel and units, investigate complaints, gather evidence, and file the appropriate cases against those officers and officials. Having police officers and officials in the police force are expected to be held accountable at all times, and after all, it is the main purpose of the Internal Affairs Service. But existing laws, however, are deemed insufficient to empower the IAS to fulfill its mandate. I therefore seek your support on the passage of House Bill number 7734 to strengthen the disciplinary mechanism of the Philippine National Police. And this proposed measure intends to amend Republic Act number 8551 and enhance the power, independence of the internal affairs. The IA shall be headed in this bill by an Inspector General who shall be a civilian, to be appointed by the President of the Republic of the Philippines upon the recommendation of the PNP Chief through the National Police Commission. To ensure independence, the IA shall be composed of both uniformed and non-uniformed personnel. The proposed measure also empowers the IA to hear and decide with finality administrative cases filed against uniformed members of the PNP facing administrative charges.
Yes, ma'am.
In this bill, the concept of police justice system has been adopted, giving the IA the power to formulate its own disciplinary rules, particularly in case of breach of internal discipline. The Internal Affairs function aims to ensure the integrity of the country's police force, a fair and independent internal affairs service in the PNP shall be the primary instrument to measure, enhance, and instill discipline in the police force. And in light of the foregoing, Mr. Chairman, my colleagues, I sought the passage of this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished colleague. Now, I would like to seek your opinion regarding a very critical issue, which is to whose authority will be the IAS be subject to. Either is it either to the PNP or the NAPOLCOM? Because under your bill, it is not quite clear, no, whether it should be retained with the PNP or be transferred or attached to the NAPOLCOM.
Mr. Chairman, I heard the discussions a while ago, and I agree with our two colleagues, Representative Cabochan and Representative Ebcas, that we give it to the NAPOLCOM, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So, we would like, okay, a while ago, there was the chair suggested that the three referred bills be consolidated and a substitute bill be crafted to serve as our working draft, in the next scheduled meeting. Because I too am very interested that this particular measure be passed as soon as possible.
I fully agree, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so it seems that the three principal authors is in agreement that the three bills or the IAS for that matter be transferred to the NAPOLCOM as an attached unit. So, are there any other members who would like to make a comment regarding this particular issue? Or from the resource persons, is there anybody who would also like to make a manifestation regarding their position on this particular issue? Kasi para sa akin, medyo kailangan mag-desisyonan natin ngayon para yung paggawa ng substitute bill, nakapix na yung isip nung committee na kung saan talaga sila ilalagay. Para at least next meeting, mag-start na lang tayo nung provisions, deliberating on the provisions section by section. So, is there anybody else who would like to make a remark or comment regarding the issue at hand? The chair hears none. So,
motion, Mr. Chair, for the approval, if I may.
We have to, the chair would like to hear a motion for the consolidation and the crafting of a substitute bill for that matter, Honorable Ebcas.
Yeah, I move that the proposed House Bills number 2247, 3065, 7734 be consolidated and we come up as substitute bills.
Is there any second? Is there
Second,
any?
Mr. Chair, second.
Okay. So there is a motion to consolidate the three bills and to come up with a substitute bill, having been duly seconded. The motion is hereby approved. Okay, so thank you. We would like to proceed with our next item in our agenda. Which is the nawawala pa yatin ko. the initial deliberation on the following measures. House Bill number 3527, an act establishing the Philippine Legislative Police and appropriating funds therefore, authored by Representatives Ria Christina Fariñas and Rudy Cesar G. Fariñas. Number 2, House Bill number 4914, an act to ensure the security of members, officials, employees, and guests of Congress and the safety of congressional premises, creating for the purpose the Congressional Police Force, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, authored by Representative Vilma Santos-Recto.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, the Honorable Congressman Xiao.
Yes, boss. Good afternoon. I believe that members of the IAS family is still here. Maybe they have other things to do, Mr. Chairman, since tapos na yung natin. Tapos na natin yung topics for them.
Okay, yeah. Oh, well, to the IAS representative and to the IAS family, thank you very much. No, thank you very much for your support and attendance. For that matter, we would like to invite you in advance, no, for the next scheduled meeting, para makakam up tayo ng magandang kompletong comprehensive na IAS structure. Thank you. Thank you. You are now excused.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon.
So, proceeding to the two House bills covering the same subject matter, which is the establishment of Philippine Legislative Police. I would like to suggest that we create a technical working group for this, no? But before that, I would like to recognize for their sponsorship remarks, no? The Honorable Congresswoman Ria Christina Fariñas. Is she around?
Your Honor,
Yes.
Congressman Rudy Cesar Fariñas will sponsor the bill. His
Okay.
bill, sir.
The good Congressman Fariñas is recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. How is my audio?
Medyo mahina ng konti.
Lakasan ko na lang po magsalita, Mr. Chair.
Please.
Mr. Chair, as one of the authors of House Bill 3527, entitled An Act Establishing the Philippine Legislative Police and Appropriating Funds Therefor, I would like to move, Mr. Chair, that the explanatory note be adopted as my sponsored speech. So move, Mr. Chair.
Is there any objection? I think there's none. The motion is carried. For the next bill, we would like to recognize the Honorable Congresswoman Joy Myra Tambunting to deliver the sponsorship remarks on behalf of Deputy Speaker Vilma Santos-Recto.
Good afternoon, my dear beloved Chairman Bravo, and all my esteemed colleagues whom I miss so much. That's why I'm enjoying this time waiting for you and listening to all of you. It is my distinct honor to sponsor this bill introduced by our beloved Deputy Speaker Representative Vilma Santos-Recto of the 6th District of Batangas. It is truly my honor. It is House Bill number 4914 to ensure an act to ensure the security of members, officials, employees, and guests of Congress, and the safety of congressional premises, creating for the purpose the Congressional Police Force, appropriating funds therefor, and for other purposes. Congress has traditionally relied upon law enforcement agencies like the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police to complement the offices of the Sergeant of Arms of the House of the Representatives and the Senate in ensuring the security of members of the officials of Congress, as well as the safety of the congressional premises. In more than one occasion, Congress has had to rely on the military and police officers to perform functions essential to legislation, such as serving subpoenas, contempt orders, and warrants of arrest. Such dependence on the executive agencies, while legally sanctioned, nonetheless impairs the independence of the legislature and its capacity to establish its own security and operational protocols within its own premises. This bill seeks to create a Congressional Police Force mandated to maintain peace and order, safety, and security in Congress, and to perform tasks essential for Congress to carry out its legislative mandates. As the primary law enforcement agency concerned with the security of Congress, the Congressional Police shall be mandated to safeguard members and officials of Congress and members of their respective families, immediate families, as well as the employees and guests of congressional premises. As an agent of Congress, the Congressional Police is empowered to assist members and officials of Congress in the performance of congressional and constitutional duties, such as serving subpoenas and warrants, effecting arrests within congressional premises, and facilitating the processing of firearms licenses and permits. Ultimately, this bill intends to protect a cornerstone of Philippine democracy, a safe, independent, open, functional legislature. In view of the foregoing, approval of this bill is earnestly sought. Vilma Santos-Recto. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you, distinguished colleague, Congresswoman Joy Tambuntin. Before we proceed, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Biason, PNP Brigadier General Plin Dongbo, USEC DILG USEC Ichiberi, Congressman Wilton Ko, and Congresswoman Quaresma. Thank you for your attendance and welcome po sa ating committee meeting. Now, can we hear the opinion or comment of the PNP regarding this particular subject matter?
Thank you, Your Honors. Police Brigadier General Danilo P. Masirin, Deputy Director for Operations of the PNP. The PNP supports the laudable intention of House Bill 3527 and 4914 to create a safe and secure environment to enable members of Congress to fully exercise their legislative responsibilities with independence and enforce their legislative powers in an unobstructed manner. The PNP agrees that ensuring the independence of the legislative department from the executive department would help attain the aspirations of democracy. However, Mr. Chair, we have some concern as this bill, it could be susceptible to challenge on constitutional grounds. As in the Constitution, it is provided that the state shall only maintain one police force. And in the executive department has created police forces like the DOTR, Philippine Economic Zone, but it is the Executive Department who created these police forces. That is only our concern, Mr. Chair. If this concern will be addressed, then we'll submit to the wisdom of the honorable representatives. Thank you, Your Honors.
Anyway, mag-create ako, I would like to suggest that we create a technical working group, no, to study further and more intensively this particular subject matter because of the position of the PNP regarding constitutional issues. So I would also like to recognize for their remarks, no, the DILG, and next would be the DBM. Okay. So, Yusik Echeverry, pwede pong humingi ng konting comment sa inyo regarding this particular subject matter. Excuse me, before proceeding, I would like also to acknowledge the presence of our former colleague and now Secretary General of the House of Representatives, SecGen Mark Mendoza. Welcome po sa committee.
Good afternoon, Chairman, sir.
Thank you. So, Yusik Echeverry is recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I did not open the video because my internet is quite weak. I hope the committee would...
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Yusek. It's okay.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, on the part of the Department of Interior and Local Government, we interpose no objection as to the bill, and we truly support it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We also need to fast track this particular bill because we believe that the security of our premises and all the representatives and the senators are also very important at this point in our at this point in time, Yusek. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anybody else who would like to, the DBM about funding? Di ba masyadong nakakabigat na yung puro hingi na lang tayo ng pondo? DBM, may please give a comment or remark on this.
Mr. Chair,
Medyo mahina yata. Pakiayos muna. And before we proceed, I would like also to acknowledge the presence of Congresswoman Loyola and our Vice Chair of the Committee on Public Order, Congressman Samir Tan. Good afternoon, my dear colleagues. Okay, DBM representative is now recognized. You may please proceed.
Chair, Hazel Iligan from the DBM. When it comes to the funding, we interpose no objection to the passage of the bill because both houses of the Congress have lump sum budgets in PS, and also the MOE and capital outlay requirements for the said bill, if there will be operating requirements, may be charged against the continuing unobligated balances of each houses. But we also be fair to the comments of the OPCCB on the matter of positions and the organization of the proposed bill.
Okay, thank you. Meron pa palang pondo pa dito. Okay. So I would like if our distinguished Secretary General would like to say something about this measure because this involves the House of Representatives. You may do so, Sec Gen.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Chairman, sirs, and distinguished members of this committee. Sir, the Secretary General and the officer, we fully support and welcome the proposed measures at least address the present situation and address the security and safety of the members of the House and the employees as well, sir. We fully support it, sir.
Thank you. Sec Gen. So we also would want the comment to hear the comment of the GSIS. Anybody from the GSIS?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Attorney Lucio Yu Jr. from the GSIS. Good afternoon, and fellow members of the committee. We would like to thank the committee for inviting GSIS to comment on this bill. Initially, we support the intention of the bills insofar as it will provide securities and protection to members of Congress and all employees therein. There's no problem on that. However, there are portions of the bill, particularly on the matter of coverage, for example, for this new police force, the matter of retirement age, salaries, and benefits. Under the Fariñas bill, we suppose that since it is silent, then we suppose that it follows the retirement law of the PNP insofar as salaries, benefits, and retirement age. And we presume that retirement benefits will also be sourced and funded from the DBM and budget, but to be administered by the PNP. However, in the bill of Honorable Vilma Santos-Recto, we notice that there is a slight difference in the sense that there will be a fund that to be created to be administered by GSIS. And regarding this matter, we would like to have a more specific and clear guidelines as to how much would be the funding requirements in case the fund will be created. How many individuals are supposed to be under the police force, and what are the retirement scheme? Because basically, the other government employees, except the PNP and military, are under the Republic Act 8291, the GSIS law. And we had the separate form of benefits. For example, we had retirement. Our retirement age is 60 and 65. Our retirement benefit is also different schemes from that of PNP. Right now, the police force, the PNP, and the military are under separate retirement law, retirement fund. So it would be more complicated if a separate fund that will be administered by GSIS. It needs further study. So if I can suggest, GSIS would like to suggest that if ever, since this is a absolute necessity, that any fund, retirement fund, will still be administered by the retirement law and the retirement fund with the PNP. And it will be sourced and funded by the DBM or budget of Congress, since the retirement package, retirement age, and other are more aligned with the PNP law rather than the
economic, wala pang gasto.
Civil servants, other members of regular civil servants under GSIS law. So we would like to have a more detailed as to what, how much, and then some details on, as to the retirement fund that will be administered by the GSIS. And we hope to be given more time also to study on this proposal. If the retirement the separate retirement fund under the Honorable Vilma Santos-Recto bill will be adopted, Your Honor. Otherwise, we support on the intention of the bill, except that on the retirement age and the retirement benefits, there might be some differences with what currently GSIS is administering to the ordinary government employees.
Okay. The inputs are well taken, and can we have your official position paper as regards this particular bill, so that the technical working group that will be created later will have something to refer to in the matter of crafting already the substitute bill, that which will incorporate all your inputs.
Yes, Your Honor. We will consult with our, for example, our operations group and the actuary group, who really has some comments on this matters. And we may need some data also from the, for example, from the PNP regarding their benefits, how they administer it, and whether this be contributory or not. We will submit our position paper, Your Honor, after study and clearance by our board.
Oh, kasi may narinig ako from the regular employees of the House of Representatives. Parang gusto na pagka na-create daw ito, gusto na nilang lumipat na sila dito sa security group. Mas maganda yata yung retirement package and everything dito sa batas na under this law. So
yes, Your Honor. I think yes. For example, I saw in the bill, and I think it's a practice in the PNP that the latest salary or one-step increase yata yung ano nila, yung the basis of computation of their retirement pay, which is not the case for GSIS.
Okay. Sige, so we will just look forward on your on the next meetings regarding this measure. We hope that everything will be settled.
Yes, Your Honor.
So let's next we will also like to hear the comment or remarks of our representative from the Civil Service Commission.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The Commission is still finalizing its position paper. We will submit once approved and signed.
Come again, please.
The Commission is still, Your Honor, the Commission is finalizing its position paper. So we will submit it once finally approved and signed.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to make a comment or manifestation regarding these two measures?
Mr. Chair, manifestation.
Yes, Congressman Evcas.
I would like to manifest my support on this measure. Apart from protecting the members of the Congress and its premises, the institutionalization of our security organization will guarantee the efficiency and the smooth coordination of all security and House personnel. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So you would like to be a co-author of this particular measure, the substitute bill that would be crafted?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Can I make a motion for that, Mr. Chair?
later siguro pagka
Okay.
nandiyan na yung substitute bill, then that's the time siguro na pwede na tayong co-authorship.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
So, is there anybody else now?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Biloso is recognized. Thank you, and welcome, distinguished colleague, Mr. Chairman of the Committee on Justice.
I really would like that the IAS be strengthened, but I've got two problems. I don't have a copy of the bill, principally because I'm in Leyte.
Chairman Ching, we will go back to IAS later. I will just finish the Philippine Legislative Police measures first, and then let's go back. If you want, we will reconsider and discuss again, the strengthening of IAS. Is it okay with you? Tapusin
I have no problem, Mr. Chair. Are we now all modernizing, or what exactly is under consideration, Mr. Chair?
We are deliberating already on House Bill number 3527 and House Bill number 4914, an act establishing the Philippine Legislative Police, and an act to ensure the security of members, officers, officials, employees, and guests of Congress. So, natapos na tayo kanina doon sa IAS. So, nandito na po tayo sa sumunod na item on our agenda. But if you like, we will go back there after we finish discussion, and we dispose after disposing of this particular item in our agenda.
So ito yung providing protection to members and officials of the House. I would appreciate your making me a co-author of that, Mr. Chair.
At the proper time.
I have no problem with that.
At the proper time.
Sige, kaya nga. So, I have no problem with that. I have no interjection. I have no manifestation. Ito lang talagang problema ng wala tayong personal participation. Itong Zoom, wala tayong magagawa. COVID-19, sarap. So, sa tuloy, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So the Secretary is instructed to take note of the manifestation of the distinguished gentleman from Leyte as regards the co-authorship on this particular measures. Also with
Noted, Your Honor.
Manifestation of Congressman Ebcas. Now,
yes, sir.
As I have said earlier, in order to study more carefully the provision of these two measures that will be consolidated and formed into a substitute bill crafted for the purpose. I would like to create a technical working group. Are the members amenable to the suggestion of the chair for the creation of a technical working group to study and consolidate and draft a of these two measures? Do I hear?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Congressman.
Should I move for the consolidation of the bills and create a technical working group to take charge of this bills presented to our committee, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman?
please.
Okay, as one of the members, I would like to move and to refer the bills to a technical working group and to be chaired by whoever is assigned by the chairman.
Yeah.
To move and
medyo nawala ka, Vice Chair. Medyo nawala ka, Vice Chair. Kindly repeat your manifestation.
Medyo unstable yung ano ko, Mr. Chairman.
Okay na.
Yung connection dito, yung internet. So I would like to move that we create a technical working group to tackle these bills in our committee. I move, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any objection?
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
The chair hears none. The motion, having been duly seconded, is hereby approved. Now, I would like to suggest that one of the vice chairs of this committee be the chairman of the technical working group, one that has a good background on military or police affairs, so that he can dispose of this competently. And so, having said that, I would like to suggest that we consider Vice Chairman George Bustos to chair the technical working group. Is the committee amenable to the suggestion of the chair?
That's a good idea, Mr. Chair.
Okay, since there was at least mayroong nag-okay. Okay naman. I suppose that silence means yes, no? So lahat parang okay naman. So
okay din ako, Mr. Chairman. Okay din ako. I think he's the only one among us vice chairperson that has a military background. He's also, I believe, a former member of the PNP. So, I think siya lang yung qualified natin dito, boss.
Kasi medyo mas marunong sa atin dito. So, tingin ko okay na si Chairman, Vice Chair George Bustos. And in fact, I have talked to him earlier about this, and is very much willing to chair the technical working group. So, COMSEC, please take note of this development.
Yes, Your Honor. Sir, the Deputy Director of the Police Security and Protection Group is also here. PNP.
Okay.
PSPG.
Can we hear his comments regarding this particular subject matter? You may please proceed.
We just concur with the statement of the Deputy Director of Operations, Police Brigadier General Maseren, sir. That's all, sir.
Okay. Sige. Pag-aaralan pa namang mabuti, gusto lang namin mga congressman na magkaroon na rin kami ng sarili naming security, no, at para hindi na masyadong lalapit pa sa nagdisturbo yung PNP. At least dito na lang sa amin. Anyway, meron naman tayong na-create na technical working group. Bahala na lang si Chair Bustos kung ano ang kanyang kuan. Sigurado ako kakausapin naman kayo. Together with also with other resource persons regarding this particular matter. So I guess with regards to these two House bills, are there any other comments or remarks? So the chair hears none. Then we can go back our discussion since we would like to consider also some inputs of our esteemed colleague, the chairman of the Committee on Justice, Chairman Ching Biloso. So the chair would like to recognize Chairman Biloso for his comments and remarks on the IAS strengthening.
Mr. Chair, can you hear me, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. A while ago, I don't have a copy of the bill, but looking at the title, Strengthening the Internal Affairs Service, I really would like that the Internal Affairs Service be strengthened, especially that my perception is that the Internal Affairs Service is under the control and supervision of the Chief PNP. That being the case, if we are going to convert the Internal Affairs Service, which should have been the direction Congress should take, if we are going to convert this to a body akin to the Ombudsman, then I would suggest to the author that if again don't have a copy of the bill, that it be insulated from any control, any supervision of the Chief PNP. After all, the Internal Affairs Service is the one that is checking the abuses of the police officers in their area of jurisdiction. That would be my only take, Mr. Chair.
Well, thank you, esteemed colleague, because that is also the position of the principal authors, the three principal authors, and this representation to ensure independence of the IAS so that it will be a credible, impartial IAS, then it should be more or less beyond the influence of the PNP organization.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair.
Anyway, there was already a motion to consolidate all these three bills and come up with a substitute bill. Then we will that bill will be the subject of our deliberation provisions per provision. So I think we still need to consider also some proposals of some inputs of the IAS itself and the PNP, considering that this will also involve the PNP itself. So I think we will start the soonest possible time for the discussion upon the pag natapos na po yung substitute bill natin, we will calendar it immediately for discussion.
Mr. Chair, I assume that the Chief of IAS nationwide, is a resource person for today's deliberation. May I request that the Chief of IAS be requested to direct the regional head of IAS for Region 8 to get in touch with this representation in order that I can come up with more or less intelligent inputs that could strengthen these bills, House Bills 2247 and 3065. That would be highly appreciated, Mr. Chair, if again I can have a discussion at our level in the field with the regional head of IAS for Region 8.
Unfortunately, we dismissed already the head of the IAS, but the secretary is instructed to take note of the request of the Honorable Biloso and relay the message to the IG of IAS so that the request of the wishes of our esteemed colleague will be given due course.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Chair. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other comment or remarks regarding the two measures that we have deliberated upon? So I think at this point, medyo papasalamat po yung chair at medyo produktibo po yung ating araw ngayon. First, doon sa IAS, mako-consolidate na natin and then nakuha na natin, na-resolve na natin yung issue kung saan mapupunta. And then yung sa pangalawa, na-create na po tayo ng technical working group para mag-consolidate din and to study further the two proposed measures regarding the Philippine Legislative Police, PLP. The next item, COMSEC.
Other matters, sir.
Other matters. Okay. Are there any other matters that the members would like to discuss before this committee? Since the chair hears none, siguro pahinga na tayo. The chair would like to hear a motion for to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move that this committee meeting be adjourned.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Sa ating po mga PNP family. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you from Napolcom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yusek Ichiberi, thank you po.